Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Zach, your friendly treasure troll, and we have a rummage sale today. This is at the Carney Legion. It's for the Carney Rescue Cats Foundation. It's a free will donation. They do have a few items that are priced at what they want, but for the most part it's a grab what you want and offer them what you're willing to pay. So we walk in, we got a bunch of furniture, and it's crowded. You got your little table of tchotchkes and knickknacks, and I was really disappointed there's no cats. It's for the Carney Rescue Cast, and there's usually, ones you can adopt in them cages, but I don't know if they're just out of cats or they didn't have any for the day. Come up here and I'm looking at these golf clubs, and they want $25 for the whole set, and I'm like, there's a lot of older clubs. I mean, there's a couple of Titleists. I'm like, maybe. I'm like, check this, see if there's actually a Callaway in there. It's not. If that had been a good Callaway driver, I might have paid the 25 and been able to sell the bag locally for 10 or 15 and recoup most of my money there. But 25 was just too much. All right, we got this catch it, kick it. I throw it in my basket for now, but I do end up throwing it back because honestly, after I comped it, it's $8. Not really worth it. I do scan it, but of course it's so old the barcode doesn't come up. Alright, moving along, moving along. Like I said, I do start digging in this box, and I find this vintage Ronald McDonald plush. It's from 1985, and it's only worth about $10. I put it back for now, but I do grab it later. You'll see that in the video. So I'm keeping this kickball and just kind of throwing stuff in my basket. I figure I'll look everything up later. That's the best way to do it. I pick up this McDonald's toy. It's brand new. Honestly, probably should have grabbed it. Started to put it in my basket. Dug through a little more. For some reason saw these tiny tans and thought, oh god, this other one's not going to be worth anything either. Threw it back. Dummy move. Should have looked it up. Look at this Mario backpack. These aren't really worth a whole lot, the Mario ones, but if you can find the Koopa and the Yoshi ones brand new with tags, definitely worth a pickup. I'm starting to dig through this little box. There's a Monster High doll, no hands, broken this, broken that. I do find this knife here. It's, I throw it in the basket, figure I'll look it up. Worst come to worst, I'll throw it up on Dibdik, get $5-10. Look at these My Little Ponies. They're modern. They're not worth messing with. Find this Lego knockoff Bigfoot. Again, it's not really worth putting up on eBay, but I know that is perfect Dibdik fodder. Even if it's not actually Lego branded, it's a fun creature type thing. Anything Super Soaker, I usually look at. Again, not really worth it. It's $6, but for some reason I sit here and I stare at it for a while. And I realize I'm kind of focused on the toys, and there's like a whole nother bit of sale here. So I kind of just do a quick scan and realize, I should probably keep walking, see what all else is here. There may be something great. It's just a little remote control car. Might have been okay for a Dibdik, but I wasn't really feeling it at that point. Alright, so then I see this VTech Pre-Computer 1000. It's got the box, and I really think about it. I look it up, and I see it's worth $20 to $25 without the box. And I decide it's too big, it's bulky, I don't want to carry it around, and $20-25, not really worth it. At least to me. I probably could have got it for $1 or $2, and if it worked. But that was the other thing. If it didn't work, it wasn't worth anything. And I just wasn't willing to risk the $1 or $2. Checking out the media a little bit here. Kind of flipping through lightly, not really seeing anything jumping out at me. I'm just, I love media, but I wasn't seeing anything here. We're gonna do a quick fast forward. Alright, and I'm out of there. Alright, now we got your other basic yard sale reject stuff. I mean, come on. Pipe fittings. I'm sure somebody needs it, but is that really something you should donate to these kinds of rummage sales? And that's what drives me crazy. Is this is stuff that people probably wouldn't even donate to Goodwill, and they're doing this for a charity, and they're just bringing these boxes of crap. There's a bunch of fishing stuff here. I do go through it a little later. I'll fast forward through it actually because there's nothing in there. But look at this. You got chemicals that are half used. You've got that might have been decent there. That hunting jacket. Sorry about the angles, guys. I'm still I'm still not that great about keeping the camera pointed where it needs to go. At this point, I'm getting a little bit discouraged because I haven't found anything really worth my time. I found a few Dibdit items, but Dibdit doesn't pay the bills. eBay does. And then I find this little, it's like a water hose timer. I scan it. I'll show you the comp and what it looks like a little later when I go through my basket. I didn't, like I said, my camera angle's horrible. So I just keep wandering around. You've got old nasty towels. I mean, they're clean, but who wants that? Nobody buys that. You got hats with local company names that aren't really worth much. You got your Hobby Lobby clocks. You got your basic dishware here. Like, I'm not trying to sound like I'm complaining, guys, but this is a job, and this is what you got to go through. You got to dig through this kind of stuff to find those treasure. A lot of people think that this job's easy. You just walk into a garage sale and there's $600 items sitting there for $5 and you pick it up and you make a bunch of money, and that's just not the way it works. Alright, come on over here. We see some electronics. I do grab a couple items here. This is a camera. Again, I'll throw comps up later when I go through the basket. Digital cameras are usually worth throwing in the basket to look up later, or looking up right then and there, because even these older ones are worth some money. This is a PlayStation 3 or 4 controller. Buttons all feel good. For some reason, you can't. I just throw it in the basket. I'll show you later. You can't really see what model it is because it's all worn out, unfortunately. It looked like there were some AirPods up there I missed too. Dang it. They were probably knockoffs, but you never know. Alright, here's my first big mistake of the sale, guys. And you know me, I always make at least one mistake. This, what is it? Hold on, it'll show me here on the front. Multi-function DVD recorder. Dang it, look at that. $75, $90 shipped. Even for parts, $20. And I look it up, and for some reason, I throw it back. I don't know what I was thinking. Honestly, I should have grabbed that. It's a free will donation. I could have got it for $3 to $5, made 20 at least, even if it didn't work. But hey, you live and you learn. And then I come through here. You got the old VHS camcorders, and for some reason, I pass up a $75 DVD burner, minimum 20, and I come back and I check this thing. What am I doing? Actually, I know what I'm doing. I'm looking for Sony Handycams because those are money, even in broken condition. This one's not a Sony, so I go ahead and just leave it there. Obviously, not going to mess with that. Moving along, you got your other normal, random, old lady garage sale type items. I am going to speed it up here in just a second, guys, because you don't need to see this stuff. You know, you've got your basic Tupperware. It's not even actual Tupperware. It's off-brand Tupperware. You know, you got pots and pans. That was a Revere, but it wasn't copper bottom, so I didn't even look it up. Ain't messing with that. This is next regret, guys. I'll show it here in a second. I missed this. $35 wall hanger. I can't believe it. Well, you know, like I said, live and learn. And with these big sales, it's a little overwhelming sometimes, just the amount of people. I find another digital camera here, toss it in my basket. This is my score of the day. Stick around to see the comp on that. That is crazy. Walking through here again, like I said, it's all basic dishware. I'm looking for anything out of the ordinary. All of this over here is vintage Avon. Ain't worth a rip. Don't mess with it, guys. I'm sure there's one or two out there that are actually worth money. Maybe learn those, but for the most part, stay away from them. They're just not worth it. Alright, we're going to come around the table here, and we're going to go check out our basket. And like I said, I got some goodies in there that are crazy. First up is this camera. It is a Sony PowerShot SX230HS in the hot pink. And even in non-working, broken condition, $100, guys. $100. Mine has the camera, the battery, the charger. It does work. I don't have an SD card. I need to just go ahead and buy one and toss in there. But, you know, hey, that gets me charged up. Like I said, here. You can see it's worn out. You can't see what model it is, but it is Sony branded. It is an actual Sony controller, so I keep it. Worst comes to worst, I'll probably run it through a DibDit auction, get $5 for it. Next up is that Orbit water hose thing. There's the comp for it. That's my sold comp right there. And Vivitar, not usually a good brand, and this one's, yeah, no exception, not a good brand. That goes in the reject pile. Again, I looked up this earlier, showed you the comp. I look it up here, and it goes back into the reject pile as well. I do go ahead, and I'm thinking about tossing this back, but I do go ahead and throw it back in the basket and keep it. I checked this knife just to see if it is perhaps a name brand like Schrade or anything like that. It's not. It's China. I knew it would be, but hey, you got to double check. Again, like I said, $5-10 on a DibDit show, most likely, so it's going to stay in the basket as well. Alright, we're going to repack the basket, and we are going to move on to the next round. Come over here, and I check out the tools. I'm not very good at looking underneath the table there, guys. I did not see that Dremel down there. But I had a broken... this wrench right here, I thought about it. It's West Germany. I didn't look it up. There was only one of them. If there had been a few of them, I probably would have just thrown them in the basket and looked them up later. Anything West Germany is fairly collectible. Germans make good steel. I don't know why I didn't look up that corn knife sitting there, but I didn't. Kind of flip through the hats here. Again, it's basic hats that aren't worth anything. Wrenches that are not worth anything. Made in China, rusted out. For some reason, I spent a lot of time looking at these wrenches. Again, I missed that Dremel down there. I do grab this hat, not for resale. This is for personal use. Again, sometimes that's what you got to do when you're out at these rummage sales, guys. You got to find something for yourself. Oh, I'm kicking myself for that Dremel, guys. I bet you that was probably a $50 Dremel. Alright, we're going to come through here. Like I said, you got half-used chemicals and nasty stuff. Broken toolbox pieces, broken toolboxes. This one's all bent to crap. I do come through here looking at these fishing stuff. I'm looking for any name brands, Daiwa pen, those higher end fishing accessories. Unfortunately, it's not. I do look at this Zebco because it's older. I'm like, okay, this might be worth something. And unfortunately, it's not the right reel in the box. It's just this old beat up, no name brand. I mean, look at it. It's falling apart. Might have been worth it to look it up for parts, but like I said, I didn't recognize the name, and I just skim for the names I know, guys. Bad habit. I know I should learn to look everything up, but I had a lot of sales to get to this day, so. Alright, I'm not going to make you watch me go through all these boxes. I'm just going to speed it up a little bit here. I should have looked at that. I should have looked at that motor a little closer. It was brand new, probably $25 motor, if I had to guess. But I was kind of in a hurry at this point. I'd already found my big score, and so we're going to go ahead and keep moving on. Again, not really seeing much of anything here. Bed bug and flea bombs. Again, plumbing fittings. Just junk that, honestly, I don't know why anybody would donate this kind of stuff, but they do. That light might have been a good idea just for personal use. Alright, we're going to be into the media here. This is my favorite section. Those blank cassette tapes can sometimes be worth money. Those, not so much. They have to be a certain kind. Here in the VHS, I'm just looking for anything that kind of jumps out at me. Things that I don't recognize. Things that sound weird. Old B movies, especially like this one. Women Unchained. Yeah. So that's definitely worth a scan in my book. And I scan it through the eBay app, and as you can see, people are asking, like, there's one there, somebody's asking $40 for that, used. And no solds, so I throw it back. I might have been able to grab it and put it up for $20, free ship, and gotten it, but it would have sat forever. And I just wasn't feeling it. I do go ahead and go through the CDs, DVDs here. I'm looking for that Taylor Swift, that I found one the other day. And it was awesome. I see this big box and I'm like, oh, come on, Taylor. Be in the box. So, leave my cart right there in the way for some reason. Grab this box. Oh, by the way, I did sell that Taylor Swift already for $44.99 free ship. That is my sold comp. Awesome. Alright, so I do go ahead and flip through all these. Right now I'm just stacking up anything that I think might be worth money. Anything that I think isn't worth money goes into another pile. Move my cart because, this poor lady tripped over it. And like I said, I'm just making piles. We got Spice Girls. We've got old Justin Bieber. We got Lady Gaga. There is a Taylor Swift in here. It's not the right one, unfortunately. Alright, so after I go through Kid Rock, after I go through and I make my piles, I go ahead and, oh my god, I didn't realize I left this much in, guys. Yeah, you're going to watch me sort through this whole box. I should have cut some of this. Well, I'm not doing a voiceover. I'm starting over, so. Flipping through. Like I said, there you go, Taylor Swift. Not a horrible CD, but alright. So we'll get them all stacked back up in there nicely. I'm not going to leave a mess. Always not leave a mess. Alright, so now I'm checking condition. Anything you see me flip and then throw back immediately, bad condition. Anything I scan, decent condition. Except for this one. I scanned that one before I checked the condition for some reason. Anyway, long story short, nothing good in that entire freaking box. I just wasted 3 minutes of your life just like I wasted 15 minutes of mine. All right, we're going to go through all these books now. And again, I'm going to fast forward it here in just a second because nobody wants to see me do that. This My Bible Friends, it's a great series. If you can find the whole series and it doesn't have display stamped on the freaking front of it, it's a great pickup. And we're going to flip through, flip through, flip through. And honestly, guys, that Andy Capp book was probably the best thing that I found in this entire stack. And I don't even pick it up. I just hold on to it in case I find some more of the old comic strip books. Beetle Bailey, Dennis the Menace, and more Andy Capp would be nice. But unfortunately, I don't find it. So we're just going to keep on keeping on, keep on trucking. We are going to move on down to the toys, and we're going to do a little bit deep dive on here. Not too much, though, guys, because honestly, at this point, I'm about done with this sale. I do see this Garfield. I should have grabbed it earlier. I saw it on the video. Anything Garfield's usually worth picking up. I don't even look it up right here because I know even if it doesn't sell on eBay, it will sell on Dibdit for at least $5 to $10. And again, I'm looking at this stupid VTech, and honestly, I don't know why I didn't grab it. This is the second time it grabbed my attention, and usually that's a sign that you should probably pick it up because, like I said, it was worth $20 to $25 outside the box, and I had the box. I don't know, guys. What would you have done? I leave it behind. All right, we're going to walk on down the aisle here. You got some normal, everyday, modern toys. Nothing good. Nothing big and special. You got a box full of, pens and pencils. And I don't even know why that's in the kids section, to be honest with you. But, I got to dig through it because you never know what's at the bottom. There might be a Lisa Frank or something of that nature. You always got to dig. There's some little girl costume princess dresses. I probably could have grabbed those, lotted them up, made some money on the local auction, but I didn't. All right, then I look at this catcher's mask. I do look it up. I can't find this exact one. It's in really great condition. And honestly, I probably could have made some money off of it with baseball season coming up. But I didn't find the comps, so I put it back. And that's another one of those ones that kind of kicked myself now. For some reason, I don't dig through that box on the floor there. I probably should have. There might have been something good in there. Who knows? But I kind of skip over that one, dig through this one a little bit more. Kind of dug through this one earlier, so I'm not really expecting to find anything. But I didn't dig all the way to the bottom, so I go ahead and look at that. Kind of come around the corner here, checking out the rest of these toys. And I do find a couple of really good things here, guys, like this Hulk Grow toy. That's going to be perfect on Dibdit. You couldn't really see it on the camera, so I threw up that picture. And here I'm just kind of loading up my cart again with stuff that I'll check. Once I'm not surrounded by a bunch of people and I don't like that. I don't like being surrounded by people when I'm looking stuff up. It's still kind of awkward for me, guys, even though I've been doing this for a couple of years now. There we go. I picked that Ronald McDonald up. I told you I would. I ended up selling that on Facebook for $6, local sale. So, hey, that's not too shabby. I never said what I spent today. I do grab another one of those Hulks. I spent a whole grand total of $20 today, guys. $20 for everything. So, hate me in the comments, roast me if you want, because I got a $200 and some camera, knew it, and only gave him $20. But she kind of counted everything up, and she said 15. I'm like, how about 20, just to make it easy. And they were happy with that, and I got some great deals. So All right, here we go. I do find these Tony the Tiger baseballs are cool, but they're really not worth anything. Like, I didn't even feel like they were worth picking up for dib date at this point because there's 100 of them listed and like 2 sold. This Star Wars lightsaber spoon from 2005 though, that was a score and a half. Mine is working. It's the red one, which is a little more rare, which is awesome. But honestly, guys, I don't think that there's a whole lot left in this video. I'm going to do a little bit of a run through here. And I honestly don't even find anything cool enough to show you. So we're going to do a little fast forward, fast forward. Like I said, I spent 20 whole dollars at this sale. I was there probably 45 minutes or so, close to an hour maybe, and I should get $300 to $400 in profit off that $20. So have a good one, guys.